Right, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Baruch Hashem. It's Erev Shabbos, Parshas Emor. Baruch Hashem. It's a long parsha, right? 124 psukim or something nice, and we have the Yom Tovim in there. Right, it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful parsha. Really, it's one of the most beautiful parshas. Okay, and everyone should have a wonderful Shabbos, Mitzvah Hashem. And today is we're going to learn in the Sefira Sfartim Lachem, or today is Hayoim Arba V'Esrim Yoim, Shem Shloisha Shavuos Shloisha Yomim L'Omer. So today's the 24th day, 3 weeks and 3 days into the Omer. Wow, wonderful! And today is the Midah of Sefira Shebenetzach. Sefira Shebenetzach. So we're in the week of Netzach, right? This is the week of Moshe Rabbeinu, right? Netzach. Netzach has a few meanings, right? Netzach means eternity, right? Netzach also means to be victorious, right? When you're victorious, you become eternal. Okay. The Rebbe, he says today here, Rav Frisch says, amazing, Bein Adam Lamokim. What do we do today? Aleph. Yispoinin Adam B'datei. B'mashem Yispoyer, Hashem Yisborach, Ba'amai Yisrael, B'chlal U'v'Yehu, B'chol Yehudi B'frat. Take a look at the I would say beauty that Hashem places and sees upon Klal Yisrael, and each Yid. Every Klal Yisrael is special to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? We're the Am HaNivchar, right? We're the chosen nation, correct? And we say every morning, Asher Bacha Banu Mikolu Amim B'Nasan Lanu Es Torah. So we learned about that, right? And then we say Abaycha B'Am Yisrael B'Ahava, right? Hashem chooses us with love. As it says in the Navi Yeshaya, it says, Shenemar Yisrael Hashem B'Cho Espoir. Hashem says, the Navi is telling us that Hashem says that within Klal Yisrael, Hashem takes pride. He takes his pride. He sees the beauty in Klal Yisrael. How would you translate it takes his Tiferet? Pride? You have another word, Shalom, for that?
Tiferet is maybe
glory. He takes pride, like the word here. Shedema Yisol Asher B'Cho Espoher.
Pride is good.
Yeah.
Like you said, Hashem is saying that it's reflective, I think. Right? He's saying that Hashem will
B'Cho Espoher. Within you, I take.
Because of the Yidden, Hashem will become glorified.
Okay. Oh, so you're saying it's okay? Okay, either way. Yeah. Or Hashem takes pride in us.
Right.
Okay, either way. Okay. And that's in general. In general, with the nation. B'frat Yispoinim b'ma shemevarech b'chol yom b'birchas oite Yisrael b'sefara. Right, we make brachas in the morning, right? We make the bracha oize Yisrael b'gvura, and then we make the next bracha of oite Yisrael b'sefara. Right, so you're supposed to kiss your tefillin shal yad when you say the bracha oize Yisrael b'gvura. Right, that's the tefillin shal yad, and you touch the tefillin shal roish when you make the bracha oite Yisrael b'sefara. Right, that's why one of the reasons why on Tisha B'Av we don't wear our tefillin in the morning. Right? And some people don't make that bracha in the morning until mincha time. They make that bracha. Why? Because again, that's not a time of B'Cho Hashem Espoir. Right? Okay. V'zeh yovoi l'hoisif koyach b'nafshay l'natzeich liyitzray. Wow, and this can help us be victorious on our Yetzer Hara. Well, yesterday we learned how Gvura can help us, right? And today we're learning how, when you realize how special you are to Hashem, right? When you realize how special Am Yisrael is and how special you are to Hashem, that can help you fight the Yetzer Hara. Shabayri is Baruch Mistakel Allah v'chofetz b'nitzchonai. Hashem looks at us and He wants us to be victorious. He wants us to win. He gives us the challenges. He gives us the Yetzer Hara, but He wants us to be victorious over. He doesn't want us to give in. He wants us to be successful. So therefore, Kadosh Baruch Hu can have more glory, more pride in Klal Yisrael. That's why He wants us to do the right thing. So He can fulfill the midah of Netzach through the midah of Tiferes. When you realize that the whole idea is that Hashem wants to take pride in you. He wants you to feel. He wants to see the beauty in Klal Yisrael. So again, if I'm doing the right thing, so then it's much easier. For HaKadosh Baruch Hu to take the pride with that stuff. So in other words, you could use the midah of Tiferes in order to fulfill the midah of Netzach, to be successful. Why? And to be victorious over the Yetzer Hara. Why? Because you realize that Hashem was waiting for you to be successful, so He could take pride in you. So of course I want to try to do the right thing. We'll try to be Hashem. We should always try to do the right thing. We should have siyata d'shmaya to do the right thing. All right. And then today the Kinyan Torah is Hamakir Es Mekomo. Right? A person has to recognize his place. Right? A person has to recognize his place in life, his place in his family, place in his business, place everywhere. Recognize your place. Recognize the place that Hashem gave you. But I think the most important thing is when you recognize your place is recognize the place that Hashem placed you. Right? Recognize the place that wherever you are is where Hashem placed you and make the best of it. So let us all make the best of it. Let us try to be menatzeach on the Yetzer Hara by recognizing that Hashem is waiting to have more glory and more pride in you. And by you doing that always, you can always be menatzeach on the Yetzer Hara. All right, so that was the lesson today in of Tiferes Shebenetzach. Okay, now we're going to go to Likutey Halachos. And today we're learning in Likutey Halachos, we're in Halacha Daled. All right, we're still in Halacha Daled. So we're in 4. David, we're in Halacha Daled. David? David, yeah. Today we're going to learn Likutey Halachos. We're in Halacha Daled. We're in 4 and we're up to 10. 4:10. I'll wait till you get the place. Everyone finds the place. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to learn. Yesterday we were learning a beautiful thing in Tess where it's in levels. We have all the threes, right? We have the threes, right? We said that we have. We start off with in the brachas. We say kadosh, 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 right? And the 3 kadosh that we say, each one is connected to another section in our minds, right? In our brain, we have chesed, we have chachma, bina, and das, right? So one kadosh is for chachma, the second one is for bina, the third one is for das. It's 3 hours because each hour corresponds to the chachma, bina, and das. Okay, and so today, Emetz Hashem, we're going to continue, and now we're going to learn about the fact that why is the 3 hours so important? What is the significance, and why is it those first 3 hours? So let's see what he says today. Rav Nosson has an amazing idea for us today. Yud. Wow. This is the idea of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He has a Seder in Liman HaTorah also. Look at this. This is Hashem's time that he is Isaac in Torah. Hashem is studying Torah in the first 3 hours of the day. Good afternoon. Hashem is studying Torah in the first 3 hours of the day. How do you like that?
We're attributing, we're attributing a human trait, time to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Kodesh Baruch Hu is also.
This is not our idea. This is not our idea. It's not my idea. This is not Rav Noson's idea. This is brought down. You'll see. K'may Shamra B'Seinu Zal in Mesechtas Avodah Zarah Gimel Amid Beis. Right, so if you want to see a little more about that, you can understand it from there. He quotes and he has a note here. Look at this. He says here, Amar Yehuda, Amar Rav, Shteim Esrei Shois Have Hayom. We have 24 hours, right, in a day, right? No, 12 hours in the day, right? The day is 12 hours, the night's 12 hours. Sholish Harishonos Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yoshev V'Oisek B'Torah. The first 3 hours, Hashem is busy in studying Torah. Okay. V'Lechaira Temua. This is a wonder. This is something of wondering. Hayin Miyad Eich Shayich Etzla Yisbarach Eisek HaTorah. How is it? What does it mean Hashem is busy studying Torah? He's busy in Torah. What does that mean? Right? It's a question. That's what the question we're asking. Haloi kol Torah teitze? Doesn't all the Torah come out? The Torah is Hashem. Hashem is the Torah. Hashem is Amcha Beis Yisrael. We're all one. Right? The Zohar says that Raisa Kutchabrichu Yisrael Kulei Chad. The Torah, Hashem, the Jewish people are all one. And Hashem knows the whole Torah in one instant, in one thought, the whole Torah. All this is from what we learned above. He explains, because of the Rachmanis of Hashem Amarubim Al Yisrael. Hashem has a lot of compassion on Klal Yisrael. And therefore Hashem studies Torah for 3 hours. So based on what the Gemara is telling us over here, that Hashem is studying the Torah the first 3 hours also. How do you like that? Why? So therefore, he can fashion the light into the bracha for us. Before it goes down. So knows the Torah of the day. Hashem sets the Torah of the day. He studies the first 3 hours. Before it comes down into the world as a blessing, through us saying the Kriya Shema. Again, saying the words, understanding the words, hearing the words. Right? That sends down the bracha to us. Right? The same way down here, down here we study Torah in order to clarify what the halacha is, what the din is. Right? Two people having an argument, right? And they go to Bezdin. So they have to study the situation, they have to study the inyan in Shulchan Aruch. They have to go over it and study it to understand what the answer is. Ki mikoydem habeira, because before the beira, adayin ha'or v'ha'torah kometz v'sasa. Because before they study it, they know the answer is in the Shulchan Aruch, but they didn't study it yet. So it's kind of closed, it's kind of sealed from them. The answer is kind of sealed. As they study, right, and as they figure out what the psak is, so then it becomes fashion, the light becomes fashion, the answer becomes fashion. Hashem studies Torah for the good of Klal Yisrael. Good morning, Rav Sasha. Good morning. The same way Hashem is studying Torah, the same way the Dayanim, right, the judges, are studying the Inyan and Shulchan Aruch, they're reviewing it. in order to find out what the psak should be, what the verdict should be, right? So too is Hashem studying the Torah for Klal Yisrael. Yeah, we have an ant situation here today. Yeah.
Invasion.
Yeah. So Hashem does that for our good. You hear this? Hashem is studying Torah for our sake. He studies Torah for our sake. In order to take that light that's up on high and to fashion it into a real beautiful blessing. Because the light up on high, until Hashem, the same way the Dayanim, when they're studying, it's locked up. The answer for them is locked until they decipher it. So to Hashem, His light is so powerful, like we said up on high. But Hashem, as He studies the Torah, Kiviyachah, whatever that means, Hashem is studying Torah. Again, it's not physical. Okay, this is something that we can't really comprehend. But for the sake, we're talking about it for the sake. Okay. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sitting and studying Torah and taking the light of the day and turning that light into bracha for our sake. He's doing it for our sake. He doesn't need to do that. Hashem doesn't need it for Himself. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu does it for us. But why would Hashem do that for us? Because Kutcha B'richu Araisa Yisrael Kulei Chad. We're all one. So of course you do things for yourself as well, right? You brush your teeth and you do all the things. You take care of things that you have to take care of, right? Because you have to take care of yourself. HaKadosh Baruch Hu learns Torah because He's trying to take care of us. He's part of us. Valkein Tzarech Meshach Zman Daika. You need this time specifically, Kiyatzir Hu B'Zman Daika, because that's when the light is being fashioned. So you can get your allotment of light of the day. That's a bracha in those first 3 hours. You hear this, Sasha? Is it amazing? Because that's when Hashem is setting up the light. He's setting up the bracha at that time. But we said yesterday that if someone got up late, they should never think, I missed my Zman, so I shouldn't say Shema. No. You still say the Shema, we said, and you still say the Shema, because it is Torah. It still is Torah. And then somehow you're tapping into this bracha through that also. But again, it's not the same blessing. If you say the Shema in the right designated time within those first 3 hours, you get such a better benefit. You get a real bang for your buck at that time. Because when it comes higher than when it goes higher than the Zman, right? Which is when it's in that state of the kamatz, when it's in that state of the concealment, it's in the state that it's closed. So therefore, the halacha is the first 3 hours. Based on the Gemara in Avodas, right, where the Gemara was saying over there that Hashem is studying Torah for the first 3 hours. That's what the Gemara says. He's studying Torah, and now we know why. Because He's taking that light and He's fashioning the light into bracha those first 3 hours to benefit us, so we can, when we say the Shema. And we say the Baruch Shem Kivay Malchus, so we can get the light all fashioned, all ready for us as bracha in our lives.
Could we say then the first 3 hours of a day the better for studying Torah, or like, I don't know, or like
Yeah, sure, it's very good, yes. Yeah, you have much more clarity. Because you're doing the same thing Hashem's doing.
Right, so I would imagine having a chavrusa.
You what?
Having a chavrusa.
No, so that's what we're doing now, right? We're learning together, right? We learn together now.
We're in the first 3 hours.
We're in the first 3 hours, yeah. We're still in the first 3 hours. Isn't that great? Kol elu hashalei shoyis rishayne shelayim heim zman kriyishma shebehem mitzayrin yisor la'or levrocha lemala kaidim sheyerid lamata. So when we say the Shema, that's what it's all about. It's about the Shema. When we say the Shema during that time, we can accept the bracha from Hashem that He's busy. He's being Isaac in Limud Torah at that time also. Right? Hashem is busy learning, studying Torah at that time in order to fashion the light, so it's easy to tap into that light and get the bracha at that time. When you say the Kriya Shema in the right time, Einsa means you say it in the proper designated time. And therefore Hashem is telling us to study, to say the Shema then. So Hashem says, you know what, I'm going to do something to it during that time. During that time, I will study Torah also. So the same way you're saying Shema, I'm saying Torah. The same way when it was Yosef, when Yaakov Avinu was saying Shema, Yosef was there and he was crying together. So to us, when we say the Shema, Hashem is studying Torah. Yosef Oz v'Isaac b'Torah k'dei l'tzayer or l'vracha u'l'toiva kaidim sheyered l'mata, before it comes down, because the light is always going to descend. It's always going to descend. When it descends, we want it to descend as a bracha already. We don't want it to descend as just light. We don't want it to, because then the light is vulnerable, that it can be contaminated by the kalim of our minds. Remember we said that, right? Because if our minds are not pure, right? So then and we can actually defile the light when it comes in. But if you say the Shema during that time, the package comes in already set up. The same way when it came to Bilam, right? Where Bilam said, Borech lakachti, ubeirach yeshivani. I went to take Borech. I wanted the comets. I wanted the light that I can fashion, that I can do what I want with. But that's not what I got. I got the beirach. Hashem gave him the bracha. Remember? So he said, the same way Bilam was not able to do anything with it. He was only bracha, but he didn't want bracha. He wanted klala. He wanted curse. Right? So to us, when we say the Shema in the first 3 hours, and that's connected Hashem studying Torah at that time. So we have to believe that Hashem gives us the light of the day, and He gives it to us in that special way that's already fashioned into the bracha, that can enter our minds, and can actually not be paigim because of our mind, but actually can clean our minds. That bracha can actually clean our minds via saying the Shema, right? Via saying the Shema and collecting that light at that time, it actually can clean up our minds. Isn't that nice?
Well, we're saying the Shema.
While we say the Shema in the first 3 hours, Hashem is studying Torah. The light comes into your mind, and that light that comes into your mind cleans up your mind. It can clean up your mind. So now that the fact that we said when you take the light in, and it's not in the right time, so then you get light that's not fashioned. It's not fashioned, it's just light, it's power. But so then if your mind isn't proper, so then when the light, the power hits your mind, it can be defiled, right? It can be pagan, right? It's not clean. You understand? But if it comes in and it's already a bracha, it has that power to clean everything up.
Is this tied into when you say you wake up at the new day?
Yes. Every day is the new day, and the new day you have to get your light for the day. You have to get your mind clean. You have to cleanse your mind. Cleanse. It does a cleansing. Isn't that nice? Shema does a cleansing of the mind. Okay. Kidei l'sayir al bracha ol l'taiva kaidim sheyered lamata kidei sheyia b'nokel. It should be very easy for us. Nokel means easy. It should be very, very easy. Lahem liyisrael etzayer or levracha, that we can accept this as bracha, because again, we're doing what Hashem's doing at that time. We're saying Shema Yisrael. That's also Torah, and Hashem is learning Torah at that time. So of course, when Hashem sends the light down that time, it's very easy for us to fashion it into bracha for ourselves. Okay, now. Right, we say this is in Tehillim, right? Ki im b'Torahs Hashem chefsai v'Torasai yehega yoimam v'loyla. Remember those words? It's in the first chapter of Tehillim. First chapter. You don't have to go too far. You open the book, first page. Fortunate is the man, is the person that goes in the ways, and doesn't go in the ways of the wicked, but he goes rather in the ways of the Torah's Hashem, and that's his desire, the Torah, and he's busy engaging in the Torah day and night. Here's what David HaMelech writes. Hainu ashrei ish asher lo yholach ba'atzos rishoyim. Shehem mitzayrin ha'or shelamala lehepach. Because what are those guys doing? Now we understand the pasuk good. What are they doing? They're taking the light up on high and they're turning it into what? Curse. They're not turning it into bracha. Shemisham nimshachem eitzes rois shel harishoyim b'derech shel hachatoyim. That's where the ideas of the Rishoyim come from. And that's where their sins come from. Because again, they're not working on saying the Shema at that time. So the light comes in. They get their light. But their light hits their brain, right? And their brain is obviously not pure, right? So then it makes it into something it's impure. And that's where the Chatayim come from. If I'm not Zocha, now we understand what Zocha means. What does it mean, Zocha? If I'm not Zocha to say Kriya Shema in the right time, if I'm not Zocha to say Kriya Shema in the right time, the first 3 hours, so then the Torah can become a Sam of us. It can become a potion of death. Instead of an elixir of life, it becomes a potion of death. Why? Because again, your mind is not, again, it goes based on lesson 36 in Likutey Moran. Okay? If you want to understand more about that, I always urge you to study the lesson. It's a wonderful, wonderful lesson to really understand this better. Okay?
Which one?
36, Lamed Vav, in the first book. It's probably take you 2 hours to go through it, but it's well worth it. You'll understand this lesson so much more if you study that lesson. All right. Anyway, if you're not married, so then it turns into samavis. What's mavis? Rishoyim, chatoyim. That's mavis. That's spiritual. We're talking about spiritual death. Look at these words. Look at these beautiful words. Yisharim darkei Hashem. The righteous ones, straight ones that go in the ways of Hashem, tzadikim yelchuvam, they go in that way. Upeshayim, and the ones that sin, yikoshluvam, they'll be destroyed by it. V'tzrichin lishma mizeh mi'oid livli leilech b'derech hatzosam. We have to make sure not to go after their advice. I mean, today we see it so clearly. Look at what goes on in the world today. You see it so clearly that mamish heading in the way of death. It's unbelievable. You see all these guys, and some of them, Hashem, you should protect us. They're Jewish guys, some of them, right? They don't know.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's mamish terrible. But here it is. This is where it can go. This is where it can go. If you don't believe and you don't say the Shema. The Shema is so important. It's so, so important.
So one of the demonstrations, I think, in Colombia or somewhere, that they're interviewing this demonstrator. She has a kafia.
Yeah.
They say her name is Miriam, and she has Magen David over here. She's wearing a Magen David.
Wow.
Yeah, many like that.
Huh?
Unfortunately, many like that.
Yeah.
Our problems are just within. It's like everything is from us.
But this is what it is. And we just have to teach them. We said that's the most important thing, to teach them that the Shema Yisrael is Hashem. He's really running everything. It's really Hashem behind everything. And when they recognize that, they'll come back. She'll throw the kafiyah off, and they'll do the. We just have to educate. They don't know. They don't know. Like that Reformed rabbi said, what's going on? We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know to say Shema in the first 3 hours. Maybe they don't even know to say the Shema, even like Hashem, spare them. Shema hapchina emes u'poigmin ba'ora Torah Let's see, this is what's going on. They're turning over the emes. They're flipping over the emes. Is the way you just described, right? They're flipping over the truth. The opposite. And they're blemishing the R of the Torah. She's wearing a Magen David, right? What is that? She's wearing the Magen David. She's being paigim the light of the Torah. Al Yedei Kaleim, because of their minds. Their minds are defiled. Their minds are defiled because, again, they're not working on purity. Harayim Babigum, Shal Yedei Zeh, Nishapech Lahem Ha'or HaTorah L'Eitzis Rois. And therefore the light of the Torah turns into them into bad advice. Right? That's the Sam Mavis. We're living it. We're experiencing it. Bebechinas Atzas Rishoyim. Ki loy zocha, because they didn't merit. They didn't merit to say the Shema. They're not meriting to having the achdus, the unity with Hashem. So this is where it goes. V'zeu ki im b'tayres Hashem chepsai v'tayrasai. Shetzarach adam sheyiyah kol chepsai u magmas nafshay liskois l'tayres Hashem. My whole being should be, my whole desire, my whole essence should be that I want to follow Hashem's Torah. And again, that's what we learn about, right? Everything you do, anywhere any chesed you do during the day, anytime you're at work, right? You're shopping, whatever you're doing, you can always be it's part of your avodas Hashem. Right? You're shopping, I'm shopping, and again, I'm honest with what I'm taking and when I'm paying and when I'm weighing and everything else, right? And I'm buying the food in order to that I can supply food to my family and accomplish what I'm supposed to accomplish so my kids can make brachas, right? Think about that, right? I'm bringing home the food so my children can make brachas. Wow, amazing. To sanctify Hashem's name, right? I'm going to work so I can buy the food. So I can pay the rent, I can do everything I'm supposed to do. It can all be avodas Hashem. That's what the Baal Shem Tov taught us. Right? You're going on a road trip and you're riding in the car, you see the beautiful mountains. So say, look at this, look at Hashem, beautiful mountains Hashem made. Marabba Masach Hashem, how wonderful this is. Sheyitzayer ha'or l'tayva, you take the light and constantly fashion Hashem's light and you make it tov, you make it good. And you make it into bracha. Kefia emes kiritzayni is baruch b'emes. And that's the ratzon. You connect again to the ratzon Hashem. That's what the emes is. Shezel bechinas tayres Hashem. Mash Hashem is baruch ba'atzmai oisik b'tayr mitzayer al tayva levracha. That's why Hashem too. He doesn't just tell us. He's not giving us advice. Hey, you guys study Torah, and he's not doing it. No, Hashem studies the Torah the same way. He's not giving, right? You always say you teach by example, right? You teach by example. What? Personal example. So what's Hashem doing? Is Hashem says you're supposed to study Torah. I'm studying Torah too. I'm showing you I'm studying Torah. Right? I'm showing you. Right? There's I'll tell you like this. There's you see how true it is. Somebody told me, someone called me up, when was it? Wednesday. Someone called me up Wednesday. He told me a nice story. He wanted to share with me a nice story based on what we're learning. Listen to this story he told me. He said that I don't remember where he lives, it doesn't matter. He had to leave in the morning. He had to go out in the morning. He had to go out in the morning on a meeting. He had a very important meeting. And his son was in the house, right, before he went to school, right? And he tells his son, I really like to talk to you, but I don't have any time. I really have to go out, and I have to get to my meeting. So he leaves. 3 minutes later, he comes back. 3 minutes later, he comes back, and he sits down at the table, and he takes out a bencher, and he benches. He's saying the after blessing on his meal. And he's sitting and he's saying the words word by word, word by word, word by word. He's saying them because again, he knows it's important to say each bracha, say Hashem's name. Okay. He says, and then he gives his son a kiss, and he leaves to work, goes to work. He comes home, and he sees his son is sitting with a bencher, and his son is saying the words very carefully. Saying the words very carefully. So he asks his son, usually say the bracha I usually bench very quick because you want to get out to play. Yeah, but Daddy, I saw that you had to get to the meeting, and I saw how important it was to say the Birchas Hamazon word by word, so how can I not do that too? What a beautiful story. Mamash, a beautiful story. Right? I thought it was a beautiful story. You show by example, right? Teach by example. You can't tell someone to do one thing and you do something, but you're doing the other. That's never going to work. It's never going to work. It's never, ever going to work. So the best advice is when you have your kids, grandkids, whatever you have at home, so show them. Don't just tell them, oh, it's very important. Show them, you watch them, and then watch them, they'll come around. They'll come around the Mitzvah Hashem. They'll come around the Mitzvah Hashem. Okay, now, so let's go weiter. Okay, anyone have any questions on this, understanding this? No? Reb Simcha, we're learning this idea that we learned yesterday that the first 3 hours of the day are very important, right? So we learned today, based on the Gemara, that Hashem is studying Torah on those first 3 hours also. He's engaged in Torah. So therefore, he could take the light and fashion the light for us into blessing based on the Torah that he's learning at that time. Even though Hashem can study the whole Torah in an instant, because he is the Torah, right? We said that Kutchabrichu, Araisa, and Yisrael is Kulei Chad. Hashem, the Torah, and the Jewish people are one. Right? So of course, but Hashem does this purposely. He takes the time, so to say. Again, whatever that means, okay? Hashem takes the time, right? He's so busy, right? Hashem is taking care of everything in the world, but he stops to take care of and study Torah during this time. Again, whatever that means, okay? Again, it's not physical, but based on the limud, okay? That Hashem is doing that in order to fashion the light for us, that we can get the light at that time, so it's easier for us to accept the light and so on. So it's such a beautiful concept, right? Why we need to do it in the first 3 hours. Oh, now I understand. Hashem is studying Torah there too. So I have to I want to grab in when Hashem is studying Torah to get the blessing of the day. Okay, v'zeh b'tayrasa yehege. Right? This is the Torah, batchila, right? Right? That a person has to study the Torah, right? We know you have to study the Torah. Chi Torahs Hashem, v'achakach nases Torasai. Right? You study the Torah, v'Torasa yehega. In HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah you study, b'tchila, he Torahs Hashem, v'achakach nases Toraso. It becomes your Torah. How do you like that? It's Hashem's Torah, and then we get our part in Torah. We get our part in Torah. When we study Torah, it becomes our part. Make your Torah, make your teachings, make your advice in life from Hashem's Torah. Make it yours. Take Hashem's ideas of Torah and make it your Torah. Dainu shafilu kishenasas teirasai. Dainu kishu mitzayir or lamata. Iye teirasai nasais mitayres Hashem. Make sure it's always coming from Teiras Hashem. Not from the Torah of the internet, not from the Torah of the news reporters, not from the Torah of the governments or the army or anyone else. It's coming from Teiras Hashem. Your whole idea, your whole ideology has to come from Torah. Make your ideology from Torah, because that's where then you can have the proper ideology. Shu hayitzir shel Toraso. K'may hatzir shel Toras Hashem she bechinas esek haTorah shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba'atzmai. The same way Hashem is studying the Torah during that time himself. Shu yizbarach ba'atzmai mitzayer or bevadai l'toiva l'vracha. So too, when we study the Torah, make the Torah, make it yours. Make it, those are my ideas. Those are the things I think about during the day. What does it mean, make it yours? Those are the things I think about. I think about what I study. I make it part of myself. It's such a beautiful idea. You could take the Torah, make it your Torah. How do you like that idea, Simcha? You like that idea? Make it your Torah. These are my ideals. I have the same ideology as Hashem. I take my ideology from Hashem. Isn't that beautiful? Because then you can have the right idea. Everything's going to go well.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing now.
That's what we're trying to do, right? V'zeo shesiyam v'haya ke'eit shasal al palgei mayim. We know those words, right? Like the tree that's on the brook, right? V'chol asher yaseh yatzliach. And everything that it does, this is going on in that same the first chapter in Tehillim, right? V'chol asher yaseh yatzliach. And everything that I do will be matzliach. Ki yiskish yitzayir or tamid livracha. Because if I'm doing that, my whole ideology when I'm learning to make this part of my Torah, to make this part of me. That's why Rabbi Nachman said you're supposed to turn every Torah into a tefillah. Right? Take your Torah and turn it into a tefillah. Why? Because I'm praying that I want this to be me. I want this to be me, Hashem. I want to turn it into a tefillah. Why? Because I want it to be me. I want it to be part of me. Baal came, because then I can constantly fashion everything I learn into bracha. And nothing ever comes to Chas v'Shalom to become damaged. Baal came, kol asher yatzeh yatzliach bevada. If you live this way, then certainly everything you do, you'll be successful with. Isn't that nice? Sasha, you like that idea? I see you like that idea, right? Right? Al kain kol asher yatzeh yatzliach bevada, he says. See that? With certainty. Like kain harishayim, that's not the way of the evil ones. They take the light and they fashion it the opposite way, right? Because they're not working on the first 3 hours. They're not studying Torah. What are they doing? They're busy listening to everything out there, all those, all the reporters and all of the things, and they're busy with that, and they fill their minds with all of that. And the next thing you know, they're protesters, right? That's what happens. I mean, it's so clear. It's unbelievable how Hashem makes it sad. But it's amazing how Hashem shows us the world, the current events right now, for us to help us to understand the lesson. It's unbelievable how bad it can get. It's unbelievable how bad it can get.
Why does the Malachim get up after? Malachim, no, it's always the first 3 hours.
No, they get up within the first 3 hours.
Those 3 hours are most important. So the Malachim was like sleeping.
No, that's why it can go to the 3rd hour, because that's when they get up. So they get up right away and they say Shema.
You should get up before everybody.
Okay, listen. I'm not, again, that's what the Gemara says, that's when the kings get up. Okay, that's when the kings get up, okay. Listen, I'm not a king and you're not a king, so we have to get up early. No problem, right?
Biden sleeps in late, I'm sure.
He's certainly no king. He's certainly no king. Okay. V'zeo ki yodea Hashem derech tzadikim v'derech rishoyim tovim. The pasuk goes on to say, ki yodea Hashem derech tzadikim. Because Hashem knows the ways of the tzadikim v'derech rishoyim tovim, and the ways of the rishoyim are going to help them what? Be lost, be destroyed. Derech taika. Specifically the way, derech, right? Bebechinas yisharim darkei Hashem v'tzadikim yolchu v'amapayishim yikoshlu v'am. Right, the tzaddikim will go in the right way. It'll be good. It'll be blessing. They'll be destroyed by it. V'zeh bechinas v'samtem zocha nasis lo'isam chayim. And if you're not chas v'sholem, you're making it the other way. V'samtem is the very alavavchem, right? V'samtem, right? You place it on your heart. V'samtem is very alavavchem. You place the words on your heart. So then it's going to be a blessing. It'll be good. If you don't, chas v'shalom, it's going to be the other way. V'zel bechinas kifi ma shemetzaya or kifi ma shezoichel esakin klei hamoichin sheloi ayedei amuna v'tikun abris. And how does this really work during the day? It works as the day proceeds. How does it work? The more we work on the klei hamayach, right? We work on cleaning up our minds. We said that the Shema in the morning, comes and sanitizes the mind, right? From all of that stuff, right? But now we have to work during the day with tikkun abris, so we don't see things and do things, we don't get involved in things in order to defile the mind again. It was all cleaned up, but why do I want to defile it now? And this is what we say, and we ask Hashem before Kriya Shema. What do we say? Fill my eyes. Right? Well, let me use my eyes for your Torah, not to look at things that I'm not supposed to look at. You understand? The eyes like to see all kind of things, right? The eyes like to see all kind of things. Right? But let me use my Torah. Fill our eyes. Let our eyes see what the Torah. We should merit that Hashem should fill our eyes should see the Torah. We should see Torah. And anything we see out there should be Torah. Anything we see, we should see it with Torah eyes. That's, I think, what he means, really. That we see anything that we experience in our life, we see it through Torah eyes. And you come to get the truth out of all your study of Torah, whatever you study. Again, because you're taking Hashem's Torah and you're making it your Torah. Right? Unbelievable. You find different advices, udrachim in different ways, yesharim, correct, righteous ones, to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'lo yitztayer, es ha-Torah etzleinu, lehepich chatz v'sholem, b'bechinas lo yizacha. And certainly don't take the Torah and make it lo yizacha. How are you, sir? Good morning.
Sorry, I'm late.
No, it's okay. Specifically our eyes, because the eyes are connected to the bris, right? The eyes are connected to purity, right? In other words, what do we, like it says, right? We say in Shema, right? What do we say? You shouldn't chase after levavchem, your heart's desire, and after your eyes. Right? We said that the eyes are what? The eyes are the agent of the brain, right? The brain wants to know something. The brain can't see. The brain doesn't know what's going on, but the brain knows if it senses something's going on. Okay, eyes, go tell me what it is. Right? That's how it works, right? The brain tells the eyes, go look at that thing. I want to know what that is. Amazing, right? But again, if you filled your mind, now that makes sense, right? If you filled your mind with Torah, and your mind was sanitized, so then the brain is now clean. So the brain is not going to be telling you to go look after things you're not supposed to see. Things that are improper. You understand?
Yeah, it works the other way too. I mean, like
which way?
Eyes see, and then, you know.
Yeah, of course. No, but
wander around and see things, you know.
No, but that's what we're saying. Fill my eyes with Torah. And then in Shema we say, right? Because you filled my eyes with Torah. So if I see everything in the Torah eyes, so if I see something that's not proper on the street and I don't look, I look away. Why do I have to look at it? I don't have to look at it. We don't have to see things that are improper. Right? There's a billboard, there's an advertisement on your phone, whatever, so close it. Whatever happened, close it. You don't need to look at it. You don't need to look. Each time that happens, it's a test, right? Hashem gives us a test. What are you going to do? Right? So the first time you see it, it's not your fault. Right? You're walking down the street and someone gets out of a car or someone walks out of a door. Well, what are you supposed to do? I didn't do it. I'm trying to get to the store. I'm trying to get to shul. I'm trying to walk home. Wherever I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Right? But the question is, do I go look at it? Do I go look again? Right? That's the real.
I saw an old guy who was walking in Jaffa near Ben Yehuda. An old guy. And when he got to Ben Yehuda, he took out a white cane. And he went across the street like this. He got the other side, he folded it back up and walked on.
Because he closes his eyes.
Closes his eyes,
doesn't
walk
wanna
across the
see.
street.
And he wanted people to, so wow.
I was just.
I also, my brother,
Yeah.
God bless him,
Amen.
we were in Curacao for Pesach, and my father was a scholar and resident there, and but it was a very unsneous crowd. So he took his glasses off, like he can't see, it's like -5 or whatever. He took his glasses off and walked around without his glasses, around certain areas. But the problem was that he lost his glasses.
It wasn't the
So
problem.
for the rest of the face,
That was the
he
solution.
couldn't see anything.
All right. But
He did.
He won.
He won.
He definitely won.
I heard once the Lubavitcher Rebbe, when he was in Paris, he went to university there.
Yeah, okay.
And then they said he'd walk around with a newspaper. People asked him, why you walk around the newspaper? He says, because I use it to guard my eyes.
Right, he's looking in the paper, he can't see something else. Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's mamish all about. It's so important. It's unbelievable, right? And this is during Sefira, we're learning about Tikkun Amidos, right? So this is the most important thing, right? But the main thing is v'ho'er einenu, right? V'ho'er einenu, right? Einenu daika. If you should know that I learned from Rabbi Weinberger also, that you'll see most of the time whenever he speaks, he's not wearing his glasses. He needs glasses, but he doesn't wear his glasses, right? Let's say he's going to an event, let's say a dinner or something, a chasna, he's never wearing his glasses. He's never wearing his glasses. But if you're sitting in the office with him, he's wearing his glasses. Right, he's wearing his glasses then.
Rabbi Weinberger was here. Rabbi Katz said he saw him the other day, right? Rabbi Weinberger?
Rabbi Moshe Weinberger was here?
I think Rabbi Katz mentioned he was with him the other day.
Okay. Yeah, he's my Rebbe for 30 some odd years. Baruch Hashem. Okay. He was here. He was here for Pesach, and his wife, the Rebbe, she was getting out of a taxi, and somehow she fell down, and she needed surgery, so he was here for an extended time. Yeah, he was here for an extended time. Yeah. But she should have her full shleima. Yeah. Boy, einenu daika ki ha'ikar tali b'tikun einayim. The whole is it's all pertaining to the eyes. That's where it starts. Like you said, Sasha, right? It starts with the eyes. Right, it starts with the eyes. That's why we're davening. V'hoyer einenu b'soyresecha. Hashem, fill my eyes with Torah. V'hoyer einenu b'soyresecha. Shehem b'chinas ayin ponim l'Torah. Look at this. This is the 70 ayin. See, you can play on words, right? Ayin is the eyes, right? Also, ayin is also the 70 ways of understanding Torah. Isn't that nice? If you watch your eyes, you'll be able to see the 70 ways of Torah. Unbelievable. Reb Nosson is awesome. Mamish. Shezoichen kefi ma shemevarin taivas niyaf totally be'anayin. The whole idea of the taiva of immorality, right, of lewdness, all of that comes from the eyes. That's where it comes from. If a person doesn't see all those things, he doesn't desire these things, he's not going after these things, it's all after the eyes. Do we all agree with that? We all agree with that? Yeah. Okay, good. Shia taiva ra shekoilo hara shel kol hashivim umin. Oh, look at this. And there's also 70 nations. Ayin, amim, right? There are ayin, 70 nations. 70 ways of Torah, 70 nations, 70 languages, right? Kamavaya b'Torah, okay now. V'alkein, ikar bakosha sheniska l'tikun einayim. The main bakosha, the main thing we're requesting is, Hashem, please let me have a tikkun for my eyes. Tikkun einayim. Shmiras einayim. Watching what I see. L'shabe ha'taiva, to break the taiva of niyaf, right? The taiva of immorality, which is dependent on the eyes. That we should merit to have our eyes filled with the 70 different ways of understanding every aspect of Torah. So anytime you learn something and you understand the pshat, no, there's at least 69 other ways to learn the same thing. How do you like that? Is that amazing? That we're joyful, right? We're joyful, we're full of joy in the words of the Torah. Ki heim chayenu, because that's our life. We said the Torah is the Sam Chayim, right? It's the elixir of life. It is our life. The Torah is our life. We take Hashem's Torah and make it our Torah, make it our ideologies. Chayenu daika bechinas ki hu chayecha v'ayrech yamecha. We know the words, right? We know the words, the beautiful words. Ki hu chayecha, because that is your life. That is how we have life. When we take our regular, everything that we do in the mundane world that we have to be involved in, right? That's what we're required to do. We're required to deal with things, right? We're required to deal with, but do all of those things in the way of Torah. Do all of those things in the way of a mitzvah, because that's your life. I want to get it as life. I want the Torah to be the Sam Chaim. I want it to be the elixir of life. I don't want it to be the potion of death. I want it to be life. Zocha nasis loy Sam Chaim v'loy lahepech chas v'sholem, that it should be klola. I want it to be blessing, and I don't want it to be the opposite way, that it should be a curse. Again, this is based on Bilam, right? We learned it with Bilam, right? Bilam was trying to get the light to turn it into a curse. But Hashem said, no. You're getting it already as bracha. Why? Because he wanted to curse Klal Yisrael, right? He wanted to curse Klal Yisrael. So again, Bilam, if his mind has defiled as his mind was, no one has a mind like Bilam. Nobody. There's nobody alive today that's like on that level. Nobody. There's crazy guys out there and there's crazy stuff. But Bilam was the worst of the worst, right? He was the father of all of that, okay? And when he got the light of Hashem, that Hashem fashioned in the first 3 hours as bracha, and he had to say those words, right? Right? Bilam said that. So how can any Jew ever think that if I say the Shema in the first 3 hours, and I understand what I'm saying, and I hear what I'm saying, right? How could it not turn into bracha for me, right? If his mind was so defiled, right? His pagame nayim was worse than anybody's, right? His pagama bris was worse than anybody's. So Mela, his mind was worse than everybody's. So he still had bracha, so of course we can have bracha. You understand? Ki anu oiskim achshav loima kriya shema liyached shimcha u'lichlol be'achdusecha. I'm working on saying the Shema. Why? Because I want to unify your name. I want to unify Hashem's name. Right? What are we saying? We're saying Hashem Elokeinu. I don't want there to be a separation from Hashem Elokeinu. I want it to be Echad. Right? Hashem's name should be one. All his names are one name. It's not that Hashem is this name, that name, this name, that name. No, they're all of Hashem's names should be one. He's one. Hashem is one unity. And I want to be part of that unity with Hashem. I want to include myself in that unity with you, Hashem. Isn't that so nice? Now that's why you can be full of simcha, right? You can be full of joy if you're one with Hashem, right? If you're one with Hashem, that means you have the best protection from anything, right? You want protexia. What better protexia can you get than Hashem, right? Right? And if you understand that you have that, so doesn't that break you full of joy? Doesn't that bring you to joy? If you recognize that you have Hashem, mamash, I'm unifying myself with the Melech Malchei Amlachim. He controls everything and anything. Everything and anything Hashem is controlling. And I'm one with Hashem. So of course, whatever problems I have, whatever it is, Hashem can get me out of them. Because I'm one with Hashem. You could fashion the light above, up on high. Bechinas bracha v'chayim. Right? So that way it gets fashioned up on high as bracha and life. Up on high. up on high in that place of Keter, that highest place. It gets fashioned into light to come into us. So of course we'll have life. Okay? Ad sheniskir lekabloi gam lamata, we can accept it down, also down here. Bebechinas bracha. Again, based on Atikun Einai. When we work on protecting our eyes during the day, when we work on protecting our eyes, so that based on that, we can continue having more bracha in the day. Right? You don't want to mess it up. Right? You don't want to mess this up. You want to have the bracha going all day. So therefore, but Hashem is going to test us during the day. What are you going to do now? Here, He's going to give us a test. Again, Bechira. Right? Hashem always gives us free choice. Right? So here's the free choice. So this lady walks in front of you that's not dressed properly. You didn't go anywhere. You were just walking. She walks in. So what do? You look away. You saw it the first time. That's not my fault. That's not mine. That's on you, Hashem. That's not on me. I didn't choose that. I didn't go to look for something. Right? I didn't go for look for something. But if I look back again, if I walk past and I go look back, chas v'sholom again, that's on me. Then I failed the test. That's pagamenai. You understand? The first time, okay. Well. Okay, well, yeah, you could say that, yeah. Bebechinas nases loy sam chayim, we could turn it into the elixir of life, and this is really what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to accomplish, right? We're trying to make it into the sam chayim. This is what we're trying to do. Does anyone have any questions on this idea? It's an amazing, amazing concept, right? We learned all about yesterday why you have to say the Shema. You have to say the Shema in the first 3 hours, right? You have to learn to say the Shema in the first 3 hours because we said that we say Kadosh, 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 right? Let's review a little bit, right? Kadosh, 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 Hashem, right? We say that in the Birchas Kriya Shema, right? Because we said the Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh is connected to the Chachma, Bina, Das in our mind, right? The three sections of our mind, the three quadrants of the 4 quadrants of our mind, right? And then we say Baruch Hashem Mekomo. Right? We say, right after that, we say Hashem Mekomo. Mekomo, we said, is what? The Keter. That's the highest place. We're connecting ourselves. And we said, we're warming ourselves up, right? We said, like, before you go to the gym, you have to warm yourself up, right? So I'm getting my mind ready, the Chachma Bina Das. And I'm realizing I'm taking that trip up the Keter. And then I say, V'hare neinu b'sayrasecha. Right? Hey Hashem, the whole purpose, why am I doing this? Because I want you to fill my eyes. I want to fill my mind. My eyes are saying my mind. That's really what it's saying. You're filling my eyes. Let my eyes see the Torah to fill my mind with the Torah. Right? That's what we're really saying. Right? Then I say, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Right? I unify it myself with Hashem. Right? And then I say, Baruch Shem Kivay Mechusay, and it gets fashioned up on high. Why in the first 3 hours? Because Hashem is studying Torah in the first 3 hours. He's studying the Torah at that time as well. So it's not like Hashem is telling us, you study Torah, but I'm busy doing my other things. No, Hashem takes the time, so to say, to study Torah during those first 3 hours, as we established. Hashem is studying Torah then too. So then Hashem is fashioning the package, the light of the day, into bracha to give you. When you meet Hashem in that place of the Keter, right? When the Neshama comes to that place, and Hashem gives you that package. He gives you that package. It's already packaged. It's already bracha. Now, the question is, how do we keep the blessing going during the day? I have to watch what I see, right? Because when it comes into my mind is sanitized. My mind is purified. It's clean. But then what happens when I go outside? Do I defile my eyes? Do I defile it? And then if I do that, so then I'm back to square one again. Then I'm worried that the Torah I'm going to learn during the day may not be a Sam Chayim, it may be a Sam Mavis Chas V'Shalom. Right? It may not be the elixir of life. It may be the potion of death Chas V'Shalom. So therefore, we should all be zeicha to realize this mamish. To realize this mamish, V'hare neinu b'sayrasecha, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us the light and fill our minds with Torah. And recognize that every time it's all a test. Anything we go out there is all Hashem is just testing us. It's cause of Bechira. He's testing us for Bechira. And we can pass the test. Like we said before, we learned on the day. Today is the day of Tveres Shebenetzach, right? That's what we learned in the thing. That when you realize Hashem wants to take his spires, he wants to take pride and he wants to take glory in you. He wants you to be successful. Hashem wants us to be successful, right? B'cha Hashem espar. B'cha Hashem espar. Hashem takes pride in me and you, in all of us. In all of us. When we are successful doing what Hashem wants. You understand? So we could take Hashem, we could take the idea. We want to be menatzeach. We want to be victorious. How you being victorious today? We're learning. You take the tveres, right? The tveres that Hashem wants to take pride in me. How does he take pride in me? Because he wants me to be successful. When I'm successful against the Yetzer Hara, Hashem is proud of me. Hashem is proud of you. Hashem is proud of all of us when we are successful against the Yetzer Hara. So we should be zeichet, and I wish everyone a wonderful Shabbos. And Emetz Hashem, Sunday will continue with Yud Aleph. Okay? Kol Tov, everybody.